Okay, so one of the newest things we've added this week was the email sending. So COHO is there to replace WhatsApp. So for any of you that are currently using WhatsApp, by all means, keep using it. My advice, speaking to people who have scaled the businesses, is that WhatsApp groups are probably the biggest pain that they had in switching. If you start using them, the people who are using them are going to be hard to drag away from them. For anyone who hasn't got into that habit of contacting you through WhatsApp, or has had that instruction quite early on, they're usually quite fine. Like, you don't expect to talk to your bank through WhatsApp in that kind of let's have a group chat together. Obviously, it's completely optional for anyone, but we encourage people to try not to have an instant message like relationship in that way. So we've tried to build all of the good parts of an instant messenger without maybe the same feeling that you're messaging your friends, kind of thing. If you have one WhatsApp group chat and in that they've put 3 or 4 maintenance issues and you happen to miss one because of all the chatter, that ends up being on you guys, and they can then use that as evidence to say, I don't know, we reported something, it didn't get actioned. So the way COHO Messenger works is that each conversation is intended to have a topic. So this isn't just I mean, you can use it and just put the topic as a general house chat, but we would probably more encourage that there is a topic. And that's kind of like, okay, that we've noticed in the last inspection that the house maybe isn't clean enough. So I'm going to go in there and I'm going to put a topic of house cleanliness. Oh, everyone's going to see I can't type. And then it's intended for that. Now, one of the downfalls of our messenger until this month was that although we get a load of tenants signing up to COHO, not everyone does. And you need to communicate with everyone. So we've now added this fallback to email. So if you do that, it will then also include the people who have email addresses in the system. If you don't have an email and they're not on COHO, we just can't really do a lot at the moment. But if you've put their email into here and you select that, you'll send it to all the people on COHO with a COHO account, and it will include everybody else without a COHO account. Otherwise, you might just want to send an email, and that could just be something you just want to blast out to people, and you can CC yourself in there. So some things to know about email and COHO Messenger is definitely look at our message templates. They are a way to save you a lot of time. Write a message once, like you can still edit them on the fly. So maybe you've got a welcome to our homes email, which you've typed out once, but then you might want to add some extra stuff like, I'm going to send this to a specific tenant. Just load that back in. Oh no, so that one's not got a COHO account. Okay, bad choice. So it defaulted on email. But if you've got one with a COHO account, it's downside of me just creating one before this. Send the messenger and you can put, hi everyone, happy Christmas. And then you can just take the rest of the message that's in there. These can be edited or have new ones created at any point. I spoke to someone who had like 100 of these in a Google Doc somewhere, and they were just copying and pasting in. And it's like, we can just make it so you can do it. So that's where that came from. And we think that's really useful for people. The other options that are worth understanding is allow replies. So as you can see, we're sending this one to all of our tenants. And I'm going to click. By default, we're going to assume if you're sending it to everyone, you don't want them to reply. But maybe you do. So I'm going to click allow replies. And then you get the option of whether they get grouped by house or whether they're not grouped by house. So if I'm sending this to 5 people and I'm grouping it by house, and that's across 2 houses, I'll have 2 messages. Each one will have the people in that house in. If I don't group it by a house, I will have 5 messages. That's important to understand, that if you're CCing and you're sending it to 100 people, you're going to have 100 emails come through, but it's going to evidence that every one of those people received that email. So if push comes to shove and they say they weren't told about something, you can look in your inbox and go, here it is. With COHO Messenger, obviously, it's always in there. You can archive the messages. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to re-enable one of the properties so you can see this in action. So if I go to my message center, yeah, so someone said before, is there an option to switch a message to maintenance yet? Oh, there. Well, yeah, that wasn't the one I was looking for, but that's exactly what I was referring to. We are very soon going to have an option there, and it will just sort of convert it and allow you to create a maintenance issue out. I know it's one of the biggest pains, and we've tried to do all we can to point to tenants that, like, here is a contact and here is a maintenance, like, which one do you want? But we still get so many emails with people thinking that we're property managers, and it's like, we've added a form at the start to be like, is this intended for your property manager? And if they put yes, it's like, don't send it to us. And they still comes through. So yeah, we're going to add the option to allow people to convert it. Okay, so the things on here that's worth noting, up here we've got a participants section. So that just tells you everybody that can see it. So if I go to this one, this one, so we can see like who it is that can actually see the messages. It will tell you the last time that they read it, and it will show their read indicator in there. The tenants can't see when you or anybody else in your organization has read it, just because we think that it's probably slightly less relevant. How can we broadcast to all tenants? It's just the default option. So at that point there, that is a broadcast to all tenants. We just tell you, again, this is just my account, so half of them don't have email addresses because they're all just me and the names of my kids for the most part. But yeah, so you can see here which are the ones that are there. Can you search or filter the messages to find previous conversations? So you can filter here by types, broadcast. If you broadcast, which is the ones that you don't allow replies to lots of people, we don't put them in this main message center. We put them tucked away in the broadcast bit. You can filter by context and you can filter by properties. We do hope in the near future to add filtering by a person and also searching within messages. That's something that we've got an active project in planning for. Okay, I think that covers the communications section. Are all messages to tenants BCC? If they're through email, you choose to CC it here. So that is optional. But yeah, you'll be in the CC as opposed to BCC. We don't do it by default just because it could flood your inbox.